the 18th of September 2022. I'm doing another honing video. Today, this is a Philharmonica 14 double temple. I haven't followed for the history on Phillies, but I'm told this is second generation, which is not quite as good as the first generation. So anyhow, in looking at this, I took the glass and I looked at it. This is just I have no idea why this doesn't shave to Matt's satisfaction better than it does. It's just with the glass, the bevel is perfect. It looks to have a very nice mirror type finish to it. But what I am going to do to this, okay, now what Matt said was in this area here, it seemed to be, and when I checked it a little bit, it does seem to be a little less able to do my little packing peanut test in this area than it does in this area. But I think I can get it better and uniform all the way across. Now, what I'm going to do, and Matt, just so you know, I did those inexpensive stones. I did go ahead and I cut those all into the curve like this. So, and what I did was I lapped all of my Nanoa combination plates. So they're all clean, they're all lapped. And I do remember now why I wanted to go to Arkansas. They work great. They work really, really great for honing in this method. But they are more prone to a need for maintenance. And it's just a hell of a mess. And, you know, wet sanding them and that kind of stuff. It's a lot of work. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this is a soft arc, and I'm going to begin to hollow out this bevel, okay? And then I think what I'm going to do, and I did, before I did anything, I ran these across the balsa strops to see if maybe that was enough. It's probably not, because if you think about this piece, we have basically a triangle formed, and I put a curving strop in there. I'm not quite getting to the edge on a stropping motion with this, but once I take this and thin that bevel out and create a concavity and a hollow in that bevel, there'll be some flexibility in that bevel, and then the stones will be able to get to it. So my thought is what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one first, and then maybe I might go right to the 12K and avoid the black arc. I'm not sure just yet. But I'm going to go ahead and show a little bit about what I do, or what I'm doing here with this particular stone. Okay, the lubricant that I use is a mix of, I don't remember exactly what the ratio is, but it's ballastol and water, and that stuff has a horrible stank. It is really just kind of disgusting. And when I'm doing this, I'm just going to do kind of an X stroke across here, okay? And the lubricant is not being undercut at this point. And I don't know that on this step, I don't know if I'll hone it to the point where it does do an undercut, although on some razors I do at this step actually go far enough where I, with this stone, take it all the way out to the edge and then go back on the other stones and then go back and forth. But this is the largest razor I've ever done, and in my experience, the size of the razors, the smaller they are, the more easily you go from one curvature to the other. This is probably going to be, I'm probably going to do this for just a little while, and what I'll do is I'll see when I look at it in the glass, I'll probably see that I'm working back in the bevel. I'm not touching the edge, and then the existing edges that is there, then the one of the other stones, whether it's the Nano 12K that's shaped on the longer radius, or whether it's the black arc, this will reach out and come in like really, actually it should be just behind where the existing apex is, and I may not even hit the apex. Okay, I may hit it a little bit, but I may not hit it at all. I may just, so I'm thinking there's probably not a lot of effort that I gotta put into this, a lot of work I gotta do to it. And Matt, if you can find out who it was trolling you and saying you're ruining that razor and putting, you didn't put tape on it, and well, flip them over to my video here, and they can say how I'm ruining this razor, because I'm actually using a curvy hone like they would have used in the late 1800s, mid 1800s, without tape. So I'm going to drop out and then come back on this a little later after I get what I got done. Okay, so that didn't really take that long at all, and I could see where I cut away about. It appeared that I had cut away about half into the bevel, and so I had one curve that went from where the existing bevel had started to about halfway into the extent of that bevel, and just even looking at this, I'm seeing, okay, there's like an improvement on this test already. That's one thing that I've said that I like about that particular test, is that it does appear to be something that has some sort of a progression where it's not a yes no, it's something that moves. Okay, so based on that, what I'm going to try and do is try and go right to the Nano 12K and avoid the arc altogether. And the motion I'm using is just kind of a rocking motion and kind of a slight X, and Matt, you will have basically all the tools that I'm using to work on this, with the exception of that arc, but you will have the curvatures on those inexpensive stones as fine as 10K in that series, and that would basically do the same thing as that arc. Those will hold up better than the Nanos, but they're not going to hold up like the arc does. Okay, now I'm using a little bit of a exotic stroke in a couple places. I feel like there's a little bit of something on the toe here that I want to smooth out. And I will get this stone on the lapping plate again before I send it out to you, Matt. I'll have it freshly lapped at I think I used an 800 grit wet dry, which I think is fine enough. Although I do, on my arcs, I do take them up to 1500 because they're so hard, and any little bit of something doesn't really come off easy like it does on these, and it can just kind of be there forever. So I don't think I think I originally used to lap these to 300, maybe 400, and once I got the finer automotive grade wet dry, automotive range wet dry papers, I started working these on a little bit of a finer. And all of the stones that are coming to you, they're all at that same 800 grit. So if you're out there in YouTube land and you're watching me and you're thinking, what is that guy doing? He's ruined that filly. Well, I wouldn't be the first one to do it because I think Jared has done a filly, and I think the first one was Gary, the barber in UK. I think he was the first one that I saw, and he did a number of those, and nobody beat him up. Okay, so I'm seeing that smooth. I like it. I think I'm ready to go to the strops, I think. Does take a little bit of a pull cut. Let me work this just here for a few more. I don't ordinarily see a push cut off of either this stone or the Arkansas. That for me is what I find comes in when I go to the abrasive strops. Oh, Matt, if you want on any of these stones, if you have any kind of a rubbing stone, this is a nano, a 12K or whatever, and you want to go and chamfer the edges, you can do that. You can also, I'm sure you could do it with one of your JNet rubbing stones. If you want to clean this, okay, you want to try and work around. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see that, but you can clean that up, and some of the swarf that builds up on these stones, you can knock that off. Just try and make sure that you work more around knowing that this is an ellipse. Okay. I think I've done it with that. I think I've done it. I've actually done it with a conical boo. You could actually use a slurry on. I have used a slurry on my Arkansas stone with this. And that and some rubbing will kind of clean some of the swarf off of that and kind of give you a fresh cut if that kind of has a tendency to load up. So it's not taking a. It's better. It's better. That little extra time was good. I'll give it a couple more swipes since I cleaned this off, made this fresh. And then I'm going to keep this rolling. If this could make this a little bit longer video, but you know, I've been known to make some videos that are really, really kind of long, and it's getting to be 6 o'clock here. So in another, you know, I definitely got to have this done to get to the Cadre Zoom call. So. This can be held, it can be lifted up a little bit, and you know, you can do it like this, or you can just kind of shore it up on the counter. I don't know what your order of watching my videos is going to be, Matt, but the test shave that I did on those couple of gold dollars, one of them I had to come back. I had to work it a little bit. It was good. It was just not as good as I wanted it to be, and I made an improvement on that. But I did test shave that and your TI. And I said on there, because I know when we talked yesterday, I said how anxious I was to actually shave with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass on that, okay? For the simple reason that I do like to sanitize razors, okay? And I don't have any bloodborne disease, communicable disease that I know of, okay? But my wife is a med tech and I am an amateur germaphobe. And usually stuff that I shave with, I like to sanitize it before it goes out. And I'm just not sure if the gold wash is a little weak on there. And I just, you know, I don't know how old these razors are, but what I don't want to do, this is such a pretty piece. I just don't want to take a chance that barbicide could damage that. Shaving with one of these is just going to have to be on my bucket list a little bit longer. Now, after I go from strop to strop, I'll wipe off the spine, okay, and then you could use another cloth. I just kind of go on my shirt. I still have enough roundness there that it kind of cleans it off, so I'm not getting a cross contamination on the grit. Okay, that was chromium oxide, estimated at 5 micron. This is Herald. That's Herald, by the way, too. The green was. This is Herald. Iron oxide, estimated at about 3 micron particle size. Now, particle size, when you're going on balsa, bear in mind that you're getting this abrasive down into there, so it may not have the same, when they talk about 1 micron, and I'm thinking the Nano at 12K, I cannot remember for sure. I'm thinking that is, I don't know if that's a 1 micron particle size in there or 1.5 micron. I think it's a 1, because the stone that I have been wanting to get forever, the Suhiro 20K, is like a 0.5 micron, which is about the same size due to the different grit ratings as the Shapton 30K. Okay, so 20K, 30K, okay, but they have the same particle size. Shapton glass isn't really something that's going to be in my future, for the simple reason that I don't think those are stones that would accommodate putting a shape onto them very easily. I don't know how thick this stuff is. And this is Herald Black. This is estimated to be about 1.5 micron, I think. And I don't know if you can hear the, let's see if I can get a little closer, because I can hear it here. The razor makes that kind of a singing, which is what you want to hear at this stage, and really any stage. It's when you hear that, it's usually an indicator that you've gotten things honed up in a way that now with this the diamond, the 2 diamonds, 0.5 micron, 1/4 micron, and the CBN 1/10 micron are all applied from a water-based emulsion. Okay, so there is no carrier like there is in the Herald pastes. The Herald paste, I think the carrier in those is a wax, and you can feel like a hanging on the wax. This it just kind of, you've got the particles down in, and I've had diamond paste that I used to use that were a paste and did have a viscous type binder carrier to that. These were very, very fluid, and you would spray those and wipe them on. And when you use this, the diamond and the CBN, you don't have the tendency to gunk up and get a little bit sticky on the blade or the spine like you did. And ultimately, I think I'm going to try to replace those Herald pastes with CBN abrasives, emulsions, CBN water-based emulsions, but I got which are more expensive. Okay, not necessary. It's just that I think the CBN cuts better than any of the stuff. I think the cutting action is far superior to anything. And I want to change over to that. It's just I'm going to need to source the grit ratings that I want and try those out. And that's not to say that the Herald paste will ultimately be replaced, because I don't know. I have to try it. Okay, so let me take a look. Shiny and polished. So before I go to the strops, let's see where we are here, because usually at that point, okay, you can see that that's just going right in. Let me see if we can get camera on this. Okay. That's just, I mean, that is just on a push cut going in. This is really, this is the kind of sharpness that I want to see. It's not even like making a noise as it's going in. Matt, to do your test, let me see what happens with the tomato. So here's a mater, toe mater. There's not a push cut on that. And so, some of these, this was my problem with these. You know, this is, you know, with a slicing action. And I don't have any knives sharpened to the point anymore where I could push cut on tomatoes, but I did have a couple that were push cut on tomatoes. But I always did that. On a big tomato. That's kind of always been my thing on the tomato test, which was a good test. It's, you know, it's better than a lot of things, but for me this was something where I can get a gauge on it. Okay, so now I'm going to the roost drop. This does have a small amount of 10th micron. There's a little bit of give in this. Rue is pretty thin. I put it has a foam backing on it, so it's there is a little bit of a give on this, and I think that this, from what I've seen, I think this works pretty well. It might even be preferable than that. I'm not sure. Jury's still out. I got to do some time, but I do like this, and then on this test here, okay, I do see an improvement, and man, I would love to shave with this. Now, Matt, when these come to you, I'm not putting any oil on these, just like we talked about. I'm going to say both of these, they won't have any oil on them. This one won't go in barbicide because I'm not going to shave with it. But you could shave with it, or you could pull this strop out, and you could give it a few swipes on that side, and then and Matt and any other gentleman who may be tuning in on YouTube, that right there is how we do it. And just to give you a cross-reference, Feather Pro Super, brand new, never shaved with it. Got to put a little bit more pressure on it to go in, but the angle on the bevel on this is a compound bevel, and it's more angular, but it goes in relatively easy. This is really nice. This is really nice. Matt, maybe you want to sell me this razor. Unless you were planning on keeping it for yourself. If it's for sale, let me know. Okay, Bill done, and I'm out. No way am I going to have these videos up before our Zoom call, but that did not take all that long, and I really like what I see. I can't believe that that anybody who straight razor shaves and likes to use low angle, light touch, and have really sharp stuff, I just cannot see anyone not liking this. So is it the best way to hone? It's the best way for me to hone. So good luck to everybody. Those that have checked in, I hope everybody has a good week. Leave any comments in the comment section if you wanted, or come on over to, or in the commercial, please visit theshavingcadre.com. It is the greatest shave forum on the face of the earth. They are open-minded. They are gentlemanly, and they let you talk about how you sharpen razors like this in ways that are very, very antiquated, like from the German Grinder's Handbook back in 1860, 1865. Other forums will deliver you the beat down for talking about this kind of stuff. So shavingcadre.com, that's where you find me, Bill M. That's where you find Matt Lukey, 3262. That's where you find Barber Dave, who has shaved with a convex hone and likes it, one of the owners, as well as a number of other guys who all enjoy this hobby and enjoy one another's company. Check it out. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Bill here again. Just a small addendum. I had some thoughts. There's been a number of people who have talked about and shown some interest in the use of convex honing, but there's not a whole lot of people that want to sit there and get one of these plates. Let me show it to you. I've shown it on the other videos. This is the Jared plate. This is the shaping plate. This has the curvature of a 3 foot, about a 3 foot radius this way and about a 12-foot radius this way. It's mathematically compounded so that you get an elliptical surface. And you take a piece of sandpaper and you put it in here and you shape these stones. Shaping Arkansas's natural stones, shaping this is absolutely no fun. No fun. I mean, it is hours and hours and hours of sweat equity and putting a piece of the coarsest sandpaper that I found was 60 grit. I don't know if that was silicon carbide. The coarsest that I could get my hands on inexpensively, silicon carbide wet dry, was an 80 grit. And then I put silicon carbide powder on there, and it was just hours and hours and hours. And then you go through a progression to smooth this out and to get it shiny. I like it. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I have it. Would I do it again? I don't know if I would do it again, but I had some thoughts because after I worked on my 12K, which is going for a vacation. It's going to Matt. I decided, well, I just cleaned this up and corrected the shape on it before I used it, and I did that one razor, and I put an 800 grit with a little water on there, and it was a used piece. Okay, and it didn't take that long at all to completely clean that up, and you can see how when it cleans up, whether there's any shape correction, where there's spots that it may have worn. And the very little bit of time that I used on that filly cut on this radius, which was made on this plate, in that direction, okay, not this direction. You can see what happens. You can see how it lays in that direction, but it was, that's made in this direction. It didn't take that long, and that is a soft arc that is considerably slower than. And these are the stone. This is the stone that I originally shaped. I thought about getting using these as an option for an inexpensive. Okay, so I have a 3 and an 8 done in that shape, and that was the original. And then the other ones I did the long way. Like, okay, so here's a 3. Here's a 3 that was done this way. Okay. And so all of them were done on that dimension until what I found out was that these stones working on the edge in this dimension have a tendency to create chips okay, into the edge that I did not really like. They're fast cutters. They hold the shape very, very well. But what I did was I decided, well, let me just, okay, so I got this shape, and, there might be times that I would like to have a coarser one and a finer one. So what I went ahead and did, okay, was this one was the 1000, 3000. So I shaped that in that direction, in that dimension. And then I also have the 3 and the 8 that I showed originally in that dimension. And then I took the finer stones, the 6 and the 10, and I shaped them in that dimension. And these stones right here, and I don't know, it seems to me you could even probably, because when Jared does a back bevel, I think he uses, on this dimension, I think he uses a Chinese stone that's 1,000 grit. Okay, now you may want to do a back bevel and polish it somewhat. If I was to use one of these on a nice vintage piece like that Philly, I haven't done enough with these. When they come back from Matt, I may do some of these with gold dollars and stuff like that, and try and find where's the sweet spot on the grit. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's not 1,000, but it might be, it might be 3,000, it might be 6,000. It might be there might be times that you want to take that 10,000 and want to smooth that out. Okay, all that to say this: if you get the plate, and I've said this before, okay, I don't know if Jared's going to place another order for these. Okay, I heard him the other day say he's got 15 of them. These are less than $100 in stateside. U.S. stateside, they might be $75. If you're in the EU or UK, shipping over there, it's really hard. But you can get them through eBay, and eBay collects the taxes, the value-added tax or whatever it is on these. Because I know there are a few people over in Europe that do catch occasionally my stuff. I don't know why. Why would you listen to this stuff? But there are currently a few of these. If Jared does live up to his word this time and not order any more of these, okay, this is going to be the last of it. Okay, and I said that before, and then all of a sudden he ordered like another 100 pieces or something like that. So, if the demand is there, I'm pretty sure that, he'll order them if the demand is there. I bought the first order. This came on the first order. I pre-ordered before he even stated what it was. He just says, I got this thing coming out, and here's the price. I ordered it because I was watching. I knew what he was working on, and I wanted this. Okay, but you could get this. So to get into taking a really, really nice razor like this Philly and getting it, and a lot is gonna. Let's wait until Matt shaves with this, and let's see, and then gets these stones and finds out. But really, Matt did a wonderful job on that Philly. It was a beautiful honing job he did. Okay, but he wasn't happy with how it shaped. I think that cuts a lot better now, and it could be that all he's got to do is get a 6,000 one of these and hone the way he normally does with his J-Nats or whatever. Okay, and then back bevel a little bit, and then get a Nanawa 12K. So really, you could get a curve like this and a curve like that, and keep your stones honed the way you're doing your stuff. Whatever system you use, and that's a lower cost way to try that without having to go out and buy one of these huggers for $400 or $500 and then take a week of your life grinding away at it. And the maintenance on this, it's like, okay, so you go through a honing session, and what you do is you pull out a sheet of 800 wet dry, put a little water on there, and put it on this thing, and clean it up, and do the same thing with, you don't have to get the two-sided ones. I think they have a 3-inch or 2.8-inch by 8, okay? What you could do, you could get that. And that was another thing that I noticed, since Matt is honing with flat, okay? And I had noticed a lot of times when I take, there's a lot of razors that I take, and they're going to have some of this kind of stuff around here, and I got to do a little bit more of this on this, because this is on the dimension of a 12-foot radius, which is basically almost flat. Okay, I didn't, it just kind of laid. It was easy peasy. Okay, so that's a good way to do the back bevel. And then the one thing that I haven't tried, if I ever do get the Suhiro 20K, I will do that. I'll curve it. I could probably do it on this side. I have a piece of marble around. I could probably precision flatten this, and I could go with this and then go to flat for that final step, which is something that Jared has done. I believe Gary in the master barber, Gary Haywood, is it? In the UK, he has done it with the last step on flat. Okay. Probably sometime I'll try it. Certainly if I get a Suhiro 20K, I'll do two sides. But that is how the master grinder did record in his notes a thing. The one thing he didn't do was talk about a curvy. He did talk about strops. I think he talked about stropping on this stuff and on this stuff. Okay, but CBN and diamond submicron particles were not around, and they would have done it on, I don't know if they would do it on a bench type strop, a paddle strop. Paddle strops have been around a long time. Go into France and you'll see, and I have a couple of paddle straps I bought from France. They were, I forget the company that makes them, but TI still sells a number of those. So I just did want to do that addendum that for those people who may want to, who are convex hone curious, and they may want to do that, and they may have some funds that they want to set aside to it. Then you don't have to go all in the same way that I have. You can maybe take little bits and pieces and snippets of those things that I've done, because, frankly, now it won't work for me because I don't have, flattened stones, but somebody who hones everything flat and then has a piece that's troublesome, okay, like Matt had with that one where he just wasn't get it, maybe all the rest of somebody's stuff, but you got that one piece, and then what you do is you back bevel it a little bit like this, okay, and then you take the longer curve this way. Jared uses 3 curves. If I ever talk to him, I may ask him if he has another one of them reject plates laying around that he may want to sell, because then I could make a nano stone or something like that, or one of these, and do that middle step. So you have a back bevel, you have a middle, and then you have the longer curve, and then you even have flat after that. So you really are working with going up into from the cutting edge of the razor. If this is from the edge of the razor, okay, so you're going from here back in the bevel. You have 4 dimensions, 2 different curves, and then a flat. For me, it makes sense. Whether it's anything that you could really follow or document or whatever, I don't know. I can document the two curves because I can see it. Like if I take this, the 3000, this leaves a lot of scratches in there, and then I go to long out on this. I can see on a 6/8 razor, I can see where I'm halfway into the bevel. So I've cut halfway into it, so half of it is thinned out and cut away, and that leaves what it's supposed to be doing, that lead edge on a hollowed out thing, and leaves it to kind of flex a little bit. And supposedly that is where the really difference comes in on the shaving edge. So Bill out again, hopefully for sure this time. Okay, y'all take care.